Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here for day 16 of Junk Journal July, and our prompt is Petal. And yeah, I have an idea for Petal. So I'm going to keep going with the idea of using something from my stash. I've got these giant playing cards. They're these very ugly Las Vegas playing cards. So I'm going to use them as like the base or substrate to create a couple of journal cards. And then for the theme, I have printed out from Itkapili Imaginarium on Etsy. I'm a big fan of their work. This is, I forget what they're called, maybe the modern ladies, retro ladies, can't remember. You will go to their shop if you choose, and you'll find all sorts of fun things like this. She has all sorts of great collections like this. So this is what I want to use to kind of be my theme for the day. And then I've got, for the petal aspect of things, these flowers that I cut out of a flower book. I keep some sort of like a file of like different motifs of things that I like to use, and it helps me not to keep so many big books. If I have really big books, I like to cut out, fussy cut things like this. So I'm going to select a couple of flowers, maybe this one, and let's find maybe a different color. Some of these are enormous. Let me see this one. Like this one is huge, but would it go on here? Yeah, it would actually. So we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit and use that big giant flower. So these have been like the flowers themselves. The book, it's a shiny book, but I did do some coffee staining on this, which really looks nice. This one I didn't. I think I have some sort of like that I did and some that I didn't, I guess. So first things first, I'm going to need a background on these, and I'm going to make it from scraps because yeah, my life is kind of scraps at the moment. I have a ton of scraps hanging around at the side of my desk. So why don't we get like a big piece of paper instead of my glue book, because then we can put them both on there. And we'll just plunk them down. I'm just going to pull my scraps over here. Okay. Glue book. Actually, I think I might use that as the backing for one of these. Look how cool that is. That's just a lovely old piece of paper. That's the nice thing about using old papers, is like you end up with like really great random stained old papers all the time. So we'll just cover the whole surface of this first one with glue. And then I'll take, these are just hand-dyed papers that are in my stash, leftovers from chopping down pages for books. Okay. I'm gonna butt those up together. There's that one. Let's go ahead and trim off the excess here. It's kind of a quiet morning in my house. My little one is, she is healing from strep throat right now. I took her into the doctor yesterday, and she got a strep test for strep throat, and it was just, he said, like mildly positive. So I think it's just mainly gotten through her, but sometimes you need a little bit of medicine to just get you over that final hump of being sick. So that is what we have started today, and last night she got started on her medication, and hopefully we'll be rid of this. I think she's already feeling better. I know her fever's gone, which is the best part, because fevers are no fun. I have a feeling that she probably picked this up during her her 2 weeks of like daily swimming lessons where lots of kids around. But, I was talking to the doctor, and I said, it's weird, like, because at night she would get nausea, and I wasn't sure if it was from, trying to manage the fever with Tylenol and Advil, even though I was, giving her food and she was drinking fine, all of that, she still would get nauseous. And I said, I don't remember as a kid, like I had all sorts of throat related things. Sadly, the end result of living with smokers does that to kids, but no one in my home smokes. So it's just a thing that happens from time to time around here. But he said, yeah, it's like the illnesses in kids these days, they're different than when we were kids. He said it's like the kids they're getting the flu in the summertime. He's like, it's like we've been through this whole thing the last few years, and it's almost like our immune systems are kind of catching up. But that's only one theory. It's hard to exactly know because we haven't dealt with this really in modern times, right? And I loved his take on it because it wasn't one of being a know-it-all, like all the people on the internet who think they know everything about pandemics, even though we've never had one in modern times. Yeah, it's like, it was very refreshing. And he said, but it's like, we can manage it. Thankfully, it's going to go away eventually, but it is lasting longer. And I think it's challenging for parents, especially parents who have to, go to work, go to a job, and dealing with a sick kid. You end up missing work and that kind of thing, right? I'm lucky because I do get to, on the most part, work from home because of the kind of job that I do. But still, it takes you away from whatever you're doing, and it definitely affects your sleep when in the night your little one is uncomfortable and they need you, and you need to be there for them. But so I was talking to the pharmacist, and like part of the whole, like he gave me sorry for these beeps, for whatever reason our smart device likes to tell us whenever there's a weather warning from Environment Canada, severe thunderstorm warning for this region. And it's like yesterday was a warning about rain. The day before it's a heat warning. Like every kind of weather needs a warning now. I don't know. It's very weird because none of the weather for me has seemed extreme at all. It's just a normal rain. It was not that bad in terms of heat. And I'm someone who's kind of, I don't know, sensitive to the heat. I'm not a big fan of it. It's my Irish skin. Can't do a lot of heat. But anyways, so the doctor gave me something for her nausea. It's just like a little medicine, like that you can dissolve on the tongue if she has nausea. And that would be my alarm. And thankfully, I think she's over that now, but I have it just in case, which is good. But I said, I don't remember ever having like any symptoms that were gastric related to throat things, and I'm like, kids just seem to have a lot more symptoms nowadays. And he's like, oh yeah. And the pharmacy said, like, the viruses are very nasty these days. Their kids are having a lot more symptoms. So, okay. So let's choose. Do we want this on here or on here? I think on there is nice. And then this one, let me move the glue book so I can get these all in frame. And I need to back that one still, right? I think we'll put this one on here. I want it like that, I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's back this first, because then everything will be ready to go. And I won't have to go back and do it all. Okay. Nice piece of book page. I have a busy work day today. Lots of meetings and things. We had a really important planning week last week, and I've started to notice this frustrating trend, and it's only really a theory of mine. I'm not going to promise to know if it's on purpose or not, but it seems like a lot of people that are in like leadership have decided to take vacations during this planning week that we do, leaving me there to deal with like everything. So I've made sure to mention it because I'm like, this is a little much, guys. Like, I shouldn't have to deal with all of this stuff. Everybody needs to participate here. It's really just a complete hellish experience for me at work during that week, because everybody is just like, the role that I have compared to the role of others is already intrinsically like connected through so many different parts of my job that I end up having to be involved with many, many different groups of people to do my part to begin with. Like, I have the lion's share of the work, and I know that, and it is what it is, but I don't also want to have to do the work of the people who aren't really, having much to do, but like having to do the work of 2 other people on top of the lion's share of my own is a bit much. So I have voiced this and said, like, if you guys book this off next time, I'm booking it off. Like, I'm not going to be there, so they can figure it out without me, because I am done. I'm so done. And I think they get it. I don't know, like, if they didn't realize. I don't really know how you wouldn't, because I mentioned it. I said, like, again, like, you weren't here last time, and remember what happened. I had all these extra things. And so then yesterday, one of them came back from vacation and wanted to like meet with me during my lunch hour today. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not catching you up. Like, you have a whole team of people that can catch you up, first of all. And secondly, if you were so interested, my friend, you would be there. So, sometimes you got to put your foot down. And it's not because I'm mean and I don't believe in helping people. I will help beyond help. I will. In fact, I sent this person a whole summary of everything that went on that they need for a presentation that they're doing. So like that will fully equip them for the work they have to do. But I mean, I shouldn't have to spend my lunch hour catching you up when you decided to take vacation during one of the most important work weeks that we have, right? Like, I was not born yesterday. So, yeah. Every now and then you got to put your foot down a little bit with people. Okay. Cut the edges off here, and this will get our petals on the paper. I love petal as a term of endearment. I used to call my daughter that when she was a baby. She has about, I don't know how many nicknames at this point. Many, many nicknames. Oh, I've glued so many things to my fingers. Okay. 1 and 2. This one is a little shiny. I think I do want to try to hit it with some coffee, even though that's going to make my drawing time a little longer. I just think I don't like the super whiteness of the paper. That shiny paper too is a little annoying. So I'm going to hit it with the heat gun now, because that's going to give it, like, I don't know if you can tell the difference between the two of these, but this one, because it's been hit with good hot heat, it like takes the magazine type page shine right down. And then the coffee will add some good staining. So you can just stay with me for a bit to see this, to see how it changes a bit. And I might need to go in and do a little more gluing, because the glue's still wet. I also think it will just add a nice bit of color. But somehow I found a walk-in clinic yesterday, because my doctor only works remotely on Mondays, and so I found a walk-in clinic that was so good that we only waited like a minute or two, and we were right in a room, and the doctor was there within like 5 minutes or less. It's kind of unheard of. It was so good. So I'm going to keep that little treasure to myself for now. Okay, yeah, it's starting to dry. Just have a few wetter areas here. Move the coffee around too. You don't have to just let it sit there. Make it easier to dry. Just kind of tap it with your finger. You can always use like a towel or another book page to dry it up, but I'm trying to keep the color, right? So I'm not going to get rid of the coffee. I want to keep it on the page. Just kind of go in and smush it when you get a big blob. Okay. Yeah, and I like all the coffee marks that I've gotten on this paper. It's nice. Okay. So let's take that away. Get a little bit of mark on the back, which is good too. I'm just going to come in and kind of press down anywhere that I feel like it might have lifted, because I may not need to re-glue. I might just need to just press it down, just because with the wet glue it needs to just go right back down. Yeah, that's good. Okay, yeah, I like how that's changed now. It's not so raw feeling. Okay, so the idea that I had for these, okay, is, so you see the heads here. I was thinking about, and I've done projects like this on this channel before, but like the Victorian flower head kind of art, I'm a really huge fan of. And I just thought that these would work really well for that. So I need a particularly fun one, I think, for over here, and then 3 different ones for the other one. And we'll make these with a bit of personality. So let's start with this one. And I think her head, because of her glasses, which I love, will be really good for this. I love these kind of digitals because I feel like I can use them again and again in different kinds of projects like this. So I'm just going to put her head there in the center. And there are some other like props and things on here, and I think I might take this dog and add this dog to this one. This blue, hilarious blue poodle. And it's like traditional weird haircut that they give them. I saw like a video the other day that was like these people who they had a standard poodle, and they were like looking at some critique of somebody saying like, oh, all poodles are ugly or something, you know, and then they showed the picture like this of this, you know, standard cut haircut. And they said, but what if poodles are super adorable when you just leave their hair natural? And then they showed their curly, fluffy, like super cute teddy bear looking poodle. And it makes you wonder, right, why? I mean, dog shows and dog breeding and all that is a pretty controversial subject to me anyways, because there's a lot of unethical things about it. But if you just look at it from the perspective of like simple why, like how did we get here? I mean, I'm sure that it probably started with like the French or something when it comes to poodles, like wanting something to look fancy, but like I don't know. It's the least of my concerns as it relates to bad dog practices probably, but it's still just a weird one. Like, it's like, why do you feel the need to cut this dog into this weird haircut, which is pretty impractical for like most things? And also like, I watched this, there's this YouTube channel, and she actually has 2 channels, and it's called Girl with the Dogs and Girl with the Dogs 2. Those are her YouTube channels. And she is a dog groomer who works with, you know, lots of dogs that have trouble grooming or being groomed. Like maybe they've never been groomed before, or they get vicious when they're being groomed or something. So she is kind of like a specialized groomer. And she's really good at her job. She's very patient and professional with the dogs and the dog parents. And yeah, I see her doing all sorts of grooming, and I don't see her doing these kind of cuts. She does more, I'd say, functional type cuts for dogs, but it just makes you wonder, like, groomers dealing with this kind of thing, how it is for them. Although a lot of times with show dogs, their showers are also their groomers and all these other things. Okay, so that I think is good. I'm trying to decide. I think I will want like a word snippet of some kind on here, but I'm going to just glue these down, and then we'll get to the other one, and then maybe we'll find word snippets at the end and we'll finish it up. We'll do like a few things to make it look more finished. So that's that. The other thing you could do is you can take actual silk flower petals and put them behind the head so they'd have some stand-up kind of texture. I think I've done that project here before. I was also thinking of doing some like watercolor, showing you how to do good watercolor flower petals that have nice wash color variants. Maybe I'll do that another day. I was also thinking of like working with these. You can do these like floral shapes where you can basically bend and have the flower petals kind of come up from the paper, and they'll also sit nicely in a journal. But you know, there's just too many ideas for one day. So let's set that one aside and we'll work on the this one. I love her curlers. This was the selling feature for me with which of these to get. I had to go with the one that had the curlers. It was so cute. I always love seeing women out in their curlers, whether they have those caps on or not. I just think it's such a relatable thing, because like when I was a kid, I didn't have curly hair, but my mother wanted me to, and so from a very young age she started putting little curlers in my hair, and I wore curlers in my hair a lot. Like I liked having curly hair as I got older, and so I would even put curlers in my hair from time to time. And the pink ones, the soft ones, the foam curlers that you can sleep on, they're still, I think, the best way to get good curls. Like my hair will curl with a curling iron, but I just like the curls that I get. They're more durable when I use like curlers. I'm wondering if I can do this one. Her hat almost looks like the pistils of a flower. Like that could be really crazy. And then we could put this one up here and put the one with the pistils, or the hat that looks like pistils on that one that's lower. Okay. And they can have like a little flower chat. I love that. And then on here we have, there's a telephone. That's kind of funny. But I'm not going to use any more pieces of that, I think, for this one. I'm just going to use the heads and then some word snippets for both of these. And I think I will go to the sewing machine and add some final touches that we'll add to this as well. How do I want her positioned? Like that, yeah. There we go. All right. So what next? Let's do sewing machine, and I will find word snippets so you don't have to painfully wait for me to find them. So I'll be right back. All right, so back from the sewing machine, I did take some silk leaves and flowers and little thread clusters in the center, and I stitched right across and all the way around these so that we'd have a little bit extra there. It just kind of, I don't know, I think it kind of bumps it up a notch, right? It makes it a little bit more interesting to have like some texture and stuff. Just going to trim these threads a little. There we go. Okay, so now for the word snippets that I want to add on there, I have grabbed a couple. I've also grabbed a couple of these little book spine pieces that I want to put on like the words on top of to give them some texture as well. So I'm just going to put that on top of there. So for this one, I grabbed Odd Conversations, which has been the chapter title of a book that I recently pulled apart, and I love it so much. It's so good for so many different pieces of ephemera to have odd conversations. I think in my junk journal art that I make, I create a lot of odd conversations, maybe. So it's relevant. Okay, we'll put that right there. Good. And then this one, I definitely need a little bit of inking because this is super white paper, but I'll glue it on to this first. This one, it says, couldn't believe his eyes. So we have this dog who's just wandering around, and he sees this flower head woman, and he's like, what is going on? Okay, so we'll tear that and then get some ink. Just kind of grunge that up a little bit. Okay, maybe right there. All right, so there we go. Those are my pieces for today. I think they're a lot of fun. I think that they're like interesting and they'll be great in journals. I might just go around the edge a little with a bit of ink, a little bit of this. It's like a yellowy green that's on here. Just to give them kind of some like plant color, but not too, I don't want to turn them green or anything. There we go. And maybe a little darker ink. Just makes it all kind of come together. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for this Junk Journal July day. I will talk to you very soon with our next prompt, and I hope you're having fun. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.